How we doing, folks? Happy Friday.
Hello. We're back. Hopefully you're happy to see us.
We're happy to be
We're
here.
happy to be here, exactly.
We're happy to be
My
here.
dogs are acting a little bit crazy today, so you might hear my birds and my dogs. Here's one of my birds. You want to see him? Yeah. That's one of my birds. Okay, that's Cloud. Yeah, obviously why you can see why. What's my baby?
I love animals, huh?
Anyway, hold on, let me get rid of him. No, you can't stand on my shoulder.
How's everybody's week? Hope everybody had a nice week.
Okay, so what we wanted to do today is we kind of wanted to inform you of a few different things that you may not be aware of. There's a lot of talk about gun laws, first off, going on right now. And we kind of spoke about, hardening a target. In other words, hardening a structure of a building as opposed to putting someone there who might actually end up in just as much danger as the students would be in.
Armed guards. They want to put armed guards at the place.
Yeah, and it would be very easy to take out an armed guard. Because
Yes.
in order for an armed guard to do something, I'm sorry, they would have to. I just ate, so we had chicken wings. Anyway, so an armed guard would have to see you in order not to get taken out himself. And if you came up under the right circumstances, that's probably not going to happen. He's probably just going to end up shot himself. So you're really just putting another person in jeopardy. But let's get to that in a little bit.
And plus, if you the money that you would spend on armed guards.
That's right. Good point.
Okay.
You got to finish it. I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, we could spend less on
on bulletproof.
doing a building.
Right, on bulletproof glass,
reconstruction of the building.
Yeah, you got to figure each guard would make somewhere probably around $30,000-$40,000 a year. So if you have two of them, that's $80,000. With $80,000, you can build a wall that's an entranceway
bulletproof
that's
door,
literally bulletproof.
Glass.
But you have to have
like
two.
We talked about earlier. Yes.
Well, you have to have two. You have to have first the initial door frame
Right.
for them to get in, and then a following door frame that would be bulletproof, obviously.
Right, and with the guard behind the wall there.
So
with the
this
camera.
way you know what they're going to carry into the area, because otherwise they could just put like their gun on the side and retrieve it after you've opened the door. They need to be inside, and also they can be locked in if you use magnetic. Locks on the doors. They would be locked in that little space anyway.
Can't get out.
Okay, so let's get back to what we originally wanted to speak about.
Oh,
so gun laws don't work. Okay, they don't work because the only people who follow the laws are lawful people.
Right.
Are people who actually follow laws, and that's not who's going to shoot you. Okay, the person who's going to shoot you is the person that doesn't follow the laws. All right, so creating more laws
is not going to help.
It's a fallacy. It's a nice thought, but again, if you're someone who doesn't follow the rules, you're not going to follow the new laws either.
If you don't follow the old rules, you have to follow the new rules.
And
Simple.
And the other thing is they're trying to put guns into certain categories, and it doesn't really work if you don't know about weaponry. So the first thing is AR. Let's start with AR-15.
A lot of people think that it's used as an assault rifle.
Right, exactly.
But it's not.
The actual name of the company is Armor Right, okay? And that's where the AR comes from. It's not assault rifle. It's also not military. A lot of people turn around and say, well, it's a weapon of war. It's this. Mm-hmm. It's not. First off, no military goes into a war in semi-automatic. Let's start there. It's fully auto, okay?
Plus, a citizen like us cannot buy any military.
Exactly.
Any military.
No fully auto. It's not possible. You cannot buy fully auto weaponry, okay? Fully auto weaponry would be a weapon like the M4. The M4 has 3 notches on it, okay? Where your standard semi-automatic, let's say, has two settings. One is for semi-automatic and one is for single fire. Single fire is exactly what it says. It's one after the others, but as long as you pull the trigger. So you could conceivably get out, if you had a 60 bullet magazine, you could get out 60 bullets in a minute, okay, by squeezing the trigger 60 times in 1 minute. It also has a secondary setting. The secondary setting allows you to shoot 3 or spray, which would be pop, pop, pop. And that's as far as it goes. There's no totally auto where you squeeze it and the whole magazine goes. It just doesn't happen. So, in essence, there's no such thing as a military weapon that's available to a citizen. It's just not.
We can't go out and buy There's no way.
So when they tell you, oh well, they couldn't get cannons, or they couldn't we can't get it either. We can't get fully auto either.
Yeah, we can't give
Okay,
you
not that I
names.
want it, but I'm
Right.
just saying you can't do it.
Right.
Now let's get to the next point. The laws that they're trying to put out is for weapons of well, they originally wanted 10 bullets per magazine. They raised that to 15, which in reality, the funniest part about it, if you are at all familiar with any weapons at all, or if you've even seen your standard policeman walking around with his Glock, that Glock is honestly the most popular weapon in the United States. That Glock shoots 15. You can actually get 15 out of the magazine. Okay, so that Glock would be exempt from it. However, there's a Sawyer gun, okay, which I believe, I could be off on the spelling, but I believe it's SAUER is the company, and they have a 9mm. Again, I could be wrong on the caliber, but I believe it's a 9mm. Excuse me. They have a 9mm that shoots 20, but it's a handgun, and again, it's semi-automatic. Right. Now, the difference between that and the Glock is they operate exactly the same, as well as the AR. Now, understand what I'm saying here. The AR-15 rifle, the Glock 9mm, and the Sauer 9mm all act exactly the same with the exact same settings. Okay, so you have not fire, you have like safety, you have single shot, and you have semi-auto. Semi-auto. That's all they have. That's it. There is no. It's fire and not fire, or what. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But they all act exactly the same. So they're all technically the same gun. However, okay, the difference is 5 bullets. And because of 5 bullets, one gun would be illegal. And that's absurd. That's ridiculous.
Very absurd.
And again, you've got to take a look at it from the logical perspective that people who are robbing, murdering, etc., are not following laws to begin with.
No.
So to create more laws for them not to follow just does not make sense.
Right. Because they're not listening anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense. It's right. They're not listening to it.
And then another thing that tends to come up is calibers of weapons, okay? Calibers of weapons, obviously a .22 is going to do less damage than a .357. That's totally obvious.
Dirty Harry.
Right. However, in certain situations, you need that extra power. You need it. I mean, if you've got 4 people on a home invasion, and you've got a .22 that you have to put 3 bullets into each one in order to make an impact, it's senseless. I mean, you're going to be dead.
Right.
A .357 is 1 shot each. It's all it takes.
That's it.
Now, I know that sounds harsh, but you have to also look at it like this. They're in your house. They weren't invited there. They're not there for a good reason. They didn't bring you cake and cookies.
Nope.
It's not a home warming. It's not.
Nope.
They're there to hurt you, and they're there to do as bad of a thing as they possibly can. And when it comes down to some thoughts like that, you have to meet those thoughts with the same amount of firepower.
Sure.
As they're coming to you with. And by that, I don't mean actual weaponry power that they're coming with. They're coming with intent. And that intent is power.
So you got to come back with that intent.
Yeah, because their intent is already an aggressive motive. And that makes you on the defensive. And if your defense isn't as strong as their offense,
you're done.
You're toast. You're just
done.
Toast.
You're done. You have to come back.
Yeah, look, see my.
You have to come back with that heavy force.
He loves me. Come over here, you. Come here, get on my finger.
More gun laws are not going to help him.
He'll just hang out with us the rest of the. Never mind. I guess he won't. I don't know. He's camera shy.
He's like R.E.O. Speedwagon. Time to fly.
Yeah, that was pretty good. We'll play that for you guys one day. We play it on. That's one of the songs we actually play.
But all in all the gun laws, all the rules, it's not going to help.
Hey, you know what we were thinking, and we would really love your input on this. We were thinking, this is fun. We love this, like speaking about.
We just love chatting.
Yeah, like topical stuff. But we also like to have some fun. So we were thinking, maybe, if you guys come up with a subject for us, we'll do a parody song, and we'll actually play it live.
If you like.
Yeah, if you like, it's totally your call. Or if you want, another thing we might be able to do is kind of a Mad Lib song, where if you guys put into the comment a line, we'll see if we can put it together and make a song out of it.
Because we like playing music, so.
Yeah, that's a big part of of our growing up. I mean, we've been
and I think we talked about this before. children should learn an instrument.
Oh, absolutely.
If you have children out there and you're raising them, teach them to have an instrument.
Yeah.
It's the best thing to learn.
And
Any instrument.
And it's not about learning. You have to understand. It's not like learning concert piano. That's not what we're talking about.
Right. You're not going to Beethoven here.
Yeah. Get them a harmonica. Okay. Get them something that they can just. There's something about getting your feelings out through melodies that
and
just
music
makes you,
takes you away. It drifts you away from all your worries.
It takes your tension away.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal and it's fun. And that's the key. The problem that most people have when they start to play music is it's not fun, and it's got to be fun.
And a lot of people they don't know how to have fun. They gotta know how to have fun.
I've taught many kids how to play guitar. And what I did, and I know that the guitar teacher hated me after doing it, because what I did was I taught him something called power chords, which is a very easy chord structure to use. And it's basically using 2 strings, that's it. But you can play literally any song doing it.
Yes.
So, if you guys want me to show you that technique, I'll show you it. Literally, you can be playing 100, 200, 300,000 songs inside of a week if you just practice this one technique.
I play drums. I just go crazy with it.
Yeah, he's a loon.
I'm
telling you
a
honestly.
loon, that's it.
Yeah, we were jamming a little while ago, and he just got too outrageous for me, so I had to turn on my distortion just to we were doing Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
An instrument is very nice to play.
Yeah, honestly.
It's relaxing, like you said.
And it's bonding, too. To be honest with you, it bonds.
Bonding.
It's like you meet somebody who can play music, and you become friends through that also.
Oh, yeah. We've had people, we went to studios, and we didn't even know the guy from a hole in the head. But
and then, he's a buddy now.
He's just that. He wants to play. They say they want to play, and there you go. You become friends with other people. You really do.
I would show you my stinky little wiener. I'm sorry. I have a Chihuahua Dachshund mix, and I call him my stinky little wiener.
Yeah, we try to keep our jokes clean.
Yeah, he just keeps jumping up on our legs here. And anyway, so we hope we cleared a little bit of that up as far as the AR-15 goes. Again,
a lot of people get that mixed up.
Yeah, they think the AR stands for assault rifle, and I get that. I really do. It's the problem with it is the look. Okay, people are very affected by looks, and it looks like it looks like something that could be on the militaristic side. But you know what? A frisbee looks like a plate, but you don't eat off of it.
Right.
Okay. I don't mean to say it like that, but that's
it's a good point though.
Because
they are not military rifles.
Exactly. If you look at a lot of kitchen knives, a lot of them look like battle knives. I mean, but they're not. They're not meant for that. That's not what they do. Anyway, and the key takeaway from this is if the laws that you have right now aren't being followed to make tougher laws, it's just dumb. I mean, it's just fucking dumb.
Common sense. These people out there are not following laws. They don't follow nothing in life but violence.
If you look, our first video was called Uncommon Sense. And that's kind of what it is. That's more or less what it is.
Uncommon sense out there, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
I mean, here, look at this. Here, we're talking about guns and everything. Here in New York, people are getting shot left and right, but we got a mayor worrying about burgers and hot dogs. Who wants to take that away from you?
And we got a DA who is more worried about Trump than he is, literally, this is the guy's honest truth. There was, I believe it's 43 people who have committed over 6,000 shoplifting arrests between them. And out of 43 people, 6,000. There's one lady somewhere around here she was dumb. She was on like 108. She was on, I'm not even joking. She was on like 108. Yep. And at 108, they were taking her out of the place. Or she was walking out with the stuff, and there was a reporter outside, and she said, "They'll never catch me." And the next day they grabbed her. You can't do stuff like that. You can't be a moron.
But in this country alone, I just saw now a Target in San Francisco has to lock everything up. Now here's the funny part. There's these people walking out with a TV set. The person says something to them and they go, "We don't care." And they just walk out.
Well, I was walking
Walked out the front door.
I'm with you. I'm telling you. I was walking home from...
Holy crap.
I got off at 86th Street because I wanted to get 86th Street and 2nd Avenue, which is where the Q stops. I was coming from downtown. I got off. It was about, I don't know, not even 8:30 in the morning.
And they're worried about gun laws.
And across the street from the train station is, I believe it's a CVS. It's either a CVS or it's one of those. And this guy comes walking out with two guys following him, and he's got a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
And they're going to stop him, and he's swinging a knife at them. You know, I mean, this is what it's come down to.
This is what it comes down to. They're closing stores because of shoplifting. Shoplifting. I mean, they have to close down their stores because people are walking out with merchandise like.
Well, look at Chicago with Walmart.
Oh my goodness!
Walmart closed down, I think, 17 stores in Chicago.
Yep.
Now, what happens to the people who depended upon those stores to feed their family? I'm not talking about buying. I'm talking about the workers. I'm talking by doing this.
The employees.
You literally took.
Yes.
You created a situation where now there's more people who actually need to steal. They're not stealing because they want a Gucci bag. They're not. You know, now you made it so they have to feed their family, right? Because they no longer have a job. These are people who are good people that you just gave them such a bad time that they've got to go to the other side, to the dark side.
That's right.
I mean, you know, I'm sure that's how Darth Vader started. I don't know.
That's right. But it's very sad. And then the whole point is, and they're still coming up with gun laws.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And the truth of the matter is, listen.
We need more enforcement.
I got to say this because this is really important. The only cure for a bad person with a gun is a good person with a gun. There's no other cure for it. There isn't. If you don't have a weapon equal to or greater than the bad guy, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose because they're coming after you.
And there's one other thing to it. When those two weapons are pulled, the good guy has apprehension about killing the bad guy. The bad guy has no apprehension about killing the good guy.
That's right.
So it's you know, like the other thing is when you go to and look at the cops and you're like, oh well, you know, he shot too soon. Listen, let me tell you something, okay? The difference between that police officer and that criminal is that police officer, even if he shot soon, did not want to.
Right.
The criminal did.
Or the criminal.
The criminal wanted to shoot him as quickly as possible.
That's right.
So you have to take, and also remember this, that while everybody else is running away from a situation, the police
cops are running to it.
They're running to it. So they have to be that much more
quick,
aware, right? Quick, aware,
quick,
decisive.
Decisive. I was about to say they have to think fast. They don't have time to waste because that person, say that person gets to run away, he grabs some other innocent person.
Yeah.
You got to take that person out.
And then you also got to remember this: they want to go home every night just like you do. They want to get home to see their families. They want to get home.
That's right.
They don't listen. They didn't sign on to that job, okay, to be a target. Okay, they signed on that job to stop criminals.
Crime. So they can go home and protect their families just as well.
So they took that job to protect you, okay? And they took that job to protect me. And they did that so that we could go home every night to our families. They deserve the same, you know, same option. You know, I mean,
they deserve the same thing to go home to their families in peace.
Yeah. Anyway,
and enjoy.
And don't get me wrong. Listen. I was not an angel in my youth. By no means was I ever an angel. I've dealt with police. I've dealt with both good and bad police. And the other thing, I mean, as long as we're at it, let's go through this also. Go ahead.
One time, cops came knocking on my door. One night I was sitting there and they asked me where I was between 5 and 6. Apparently I said kindergarten. Okay.
No. But what I see now, you made me lose track. I lost track of what I was going to say. Oh, okay, the talk. Okay, so that's another thing. So, like, I hear people of color turn around and go, "Well, I had to give my son the talk." Well, I got to tell you the truth. I've got an 18-year-old son. Okay,
I have two boys.
When he was about 10, the talk I gave him was this: if a police officer attempts to stop you, stop. If he asks you to sit down, sit down.
Sit down.
Follow his instructions until you no longer have to follow his instructions. That's when I come. And you no longer have to follow his instructions. At that point, you follow my instructions. Right. Until then, you be as nice as possible.
That's what we were taught.
And you be respectful.
Right. That's what we were taught.
And his question to me was, what if he's wrong? My answer to him was, we'll handle that later.
Right. Down the line, you can handle it
later.
Because he's right. Because now you resist the right or you resist something or anything, then you're going to be wrong.
And to tell you the truth, and I'm being really honest about this, you can tell me, oh, well, they're rough and they're this and that. That's true in the beginning. You're absolutely right. When they first come up to you, they've got to know that you don't pose a threat to them. That's what, and they do it to white people, black people, Spanish people, red people, purple people.
Don't matter what you are.
Doesn't matter.
They do it
They've
to
got
everybody.
to come up. They've got to establish.
They have to. Right. They have to feel you out.
Well, they have to establish authority from the
Right.
beginning in order for you to even remotely
Mm-hmm.
want to listen. Okay. However, once you start with the yes sir, no sir, and you don't have to agree with them. That's the other thing. But you do have to be respectful. And once you get respectful, I give you my word on this. They will get respectful with you.
Right.
They don't want to be assholes. It's just
They don't want trouble either.
right. It's just for some reason people have watched so much TV and heard the TV say,
Right.
"Oh, we pay your salary." No, you know what? You really and truthfully don't. You pay taxes and that pays their salary. But you can't fire them, so you don't pay their salary. It's real
Right.
simple. All right. But you do have to, I promise you, if you're just respectful, not even nice,
Just
just
respectful.
respectful, okay?
They'll respect you
I
back.
guarantee you they'll be as nice as can be to you. They just and
We've
the
been
majority of the
through
time
those
you'll actually be
situations,
you'll get let go
Mhm.
because they don't even want to go through the hassle of the paperwork. And
Paperwork.
stuff.
I was just gonna say they don't
Okay.
go through the paperwork.
But you act like such an asshole that
They
you
have
make
no
it
choice.
worthwhile.
Right.
You make it worthwhile.
And then they have no choice but to do what they do.
And believe me,
They have to.
I noticed-
Decisive as
right? I know this sounds like I'm coming down on someone who might be a victim of police brutality, and that's really not the case. What I'm trying to do is to save your future hassles.
Mhm.
That's all.
Just show respect, and I guarantee you'll be walking home.
At some point or another, you are going to deal with a police officer. It's just the way it is. It's the rack of the odds. Let's put
We
it that
dealt
way.
with it back in the '70s, right?
Yeah.
Early '80s. We dealt with it.
I'll tell you a quick story, okay? So me and Kerry, we were hanging out on this block, 90th Street, between 1st and 2nd Avenue, and we broke into a building, and the building was a duplex, right? This is true. So I took over the penthouse. Nobody was living there yet, so I took over the penthouse. He was in the next floor down. And it's the middle of summer, so we decided we're gonna have a party, and we have about maybe, let's say about 50 people there.
A lot,
Okay?
yeah.
At least 50 people.
Half the block.
Half the block, a bunch of liquor, some radios, stuff like that. Now realize no one is supposed to be in this building, but lights are everywhere. There's music blaring. So somebody called the cops.
All the cops. Right.
So me and Kerry are on the roof, and we're looking over, and we see like 8 cop cars pull up with like 3 detective cars also. So everybody starts panicking, starts running out of the building. It looked like I can't even tell you what it looked like. It literally looked like roaches when the light comes on.
everybody just fucking
booming.
scattered.
So this cop comes up and he ends up putting a gun in my face, and I had a radio in my hand, and he told me drop the radio. And in a nice way, I said, I don't want to drop it. I'll lower it. I said it really nicely. So let's make a long story short. Me and this cop didn't really get along so well. All right. So he sat me down. The sergeant came up and I started talking to him. I was very respectful. Not only did I get out of it, okay, but he ended up shaking my hand at the end. This
Right.
other cop wanted to take me in, but because I was respectful with the sergeant,
Right, we were respectful.
none of that happened.
Right.
And it's
Just explain the story to him.
Right.
That's all.
don't try to bump chests with a police officer.
Nope.
Okay, it's not
Because they're in
working.
the right.
He's got a bulletproof vest on. He ain't gonna feel it. You are, okay?
Yeah.
And so I can't, and give you a better analogy
That's
than
right.
that.
He's got a bulletproof vest.
He's not gonna feel it. Oh, come on now. We're at the end here. Shut up. Anyway, all right, we're gonna go because I gotta feed my dogs anyway. That's what they're barking about.
All right,
I've got-
folks.
We did like 25
25
minutes. That's
almost.
not bad. Anyway, guys, listen.
You enjoy your
really,
weekend.
really love the fact that you watch, and we would love to hear more
Yeah.
from you.
Yes, please. Comments.
And if you ever want to, listen,
Anything.
I tell you what, if you're close to us, I live in the 90s on the east side. If you're close to us and
We're
you want to,
hang, yes.
we'll meet you somewhere and bring the phone, and we could all 3 do a show together and have some fun. We really, really appreciate you more than you know.
Right. We're just here to have some fun.
Yeah, that's
we
all it
really
is.
appreciate you listening and watching.
If you want to subscribe, by all means, we love seeing every now and then. We only have like 6 subscriptions. I'm not gonna BS you and tell you we got thousands. We got 6, and those 6 we appreciate
you have to
to
respect.
the ends of the earth.
I respect all police officers.
But it is,
Yeah,
please, that's great.
I mean,
Please.
one day I was walking down, in New York City. I was in a village. I saw 2 guys wearing the same outfits. I thought they were gay. They arrested me. I don't know.
I expected them to sing YMCA, but anyway, okay,
Folks, you
guys.
have a nice weekend. Enjoy. We'll catch you next week.
As always, it was a pleasure, and thank you so much for listening.
Be safe.
Later.